Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am on my comfy couch today, and today's video is going to be our March reset. So I have a cup of coffee here and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I want to start off with going over my February goals, which I have right here in front of me, but I'll pop up a picture on the screen so you guys can see. So the first goal that I have is to pay off roof. Check, we did that. That is just fantastic. I am quite excited that we got that paid off. That was another big debt to cross off for our goals, and that was a big goal I had for this year. So I love being able to cross off 2024 goals early on, especially since it's only February. The second goal I have is to track groceries better, and check, we did that as well. The third goal I have is save $500 in our house account, which I was originally going to do, and I put that in my February budget with me, but then throughout the month, I think we decided to put that towards debt payoff. So I didn't quite do this, but I did put that $500 towards paying down a debt. So I'm happy about that. So can't cross it off. The fourth goal I have is average 3 no spend days a week. Guys, I totally fell off. I tracked my no spend for the first week and didn't do it again. So can't cross that off, but I definitely want to be better about this. So I'm going to carry this goal into March. 5, work on going through freezer and pantry. I would say we half did that. We definitely still have room for improvement. So once again, I'm going to carry this goal to March. Get ag exemption and farm tags. We got the ag exemption. We did not get the farm tag piece. So we're going to carry the farm tag piece over into March. Celebrate Jacob's birthday. We did do that, which was really fun. I've talked about that in a few vlogs, so go back and watch those. Read 5 books. I did do that, and we will talk about the 5 books I read later in this video. Consistently post videos. I did do that. I'm very proud of myself. This month was really hard to balance work and doing these videos, so I'm happy I did that. And then the 10th goal was stain mantle, which has been a journey if you've been following. So I'll pop up a picture of that here. That looked so good. And then the 11th goal I put on here was measure frames for gallery wall, which not only did I measure for the frames, I bought the frames and I did the gallery wall. So I'll pop a picture of that up here as well. So we got 2 house things done this month, which was really good. So overall, I did okay. There's definitely room for improvement for March, but I'm not gonna be too hard on myself because I do still think the things we accomplished were big, and it's not like we totally fell off besides just the tracking no spending. So with that being said, I'm going to take this and I'm going to look at my 2024 goals and come up with some goals for March. Okay, so I went ahead and put my March goals out, and I love making these super cute. I think it's really fun. I'm actually thinking I might display this just as like a little visual reminder throughout the month, but I'll pop up a picture here. So I was definitely ambitious this month for sure, but I think we can do it. There's like one thing I'm unsure of. So first goal is read 5 books from my TBR. So I'll talk about those in a little bit. I want to go on a date night with Jacob, like a planned, scheduled date night, not just like traditional date night. I really want to organize all of my files because they are out of control and I just need a better system. I want to get my farm tags for Jacob's truck, and this is the thing I think I'm a little bit unsure of doing because it's super complicated and there's like not really good instructions, so that's really the hardest part. So I think we just need to make the time and go up to the tax office to do it. The next thing is I want to do something out of my comfort zone. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but I think that'll be fun. The 6th goal I have is fix Suburban, which is another big goal we have for 2024. So hopefully we can get that done. We're taking the Suburban up to the shop today, so fingers crossed. Average 2 no spend days and track them. I need to do that this month. Pay $1,000 on my credit card, and then also save $1,000 for our family trip that we're taking at the end of this year because I do think we're going to be buying flights soon. So I want to just have that money there. The 10th goal I have is to not miss an upload. This will probably be one of my more challenging ones, but we're going to do our best. I want to set a study schedule. I need to get back into studying for my CPA exam. I have fallen off, and that's like a whole other thing, which I'll talk about in a separate video, but I want to set a study schedule and get back into that. Save $500 in our house account, just as like a sinking fund or a lean-to fund, one of the two. And then I need to start walking again. I was doing really good about this with Molly. And we just need to get back into that routine, whether it's before work or after work. I enjoy doing it, so get back in that routine. Eat out of the freezer and pantry, carrying this one over from February. And then the last goal I have is to research small business and make a plan and just kind of like narrow down, because I have so many ideas floating in my head. So I really want to just pen to paper, get all of that figured out. So those are my March goals. I definitely think that it's a lot, but I think it's achievable. So I do want to now probably go through my February reads and my March TBR. And like I said, 5 goals on my TBR. So let's go ahead and talk about books. Okay, let's talk about our March TBR. So the first one is a book I'm actually currently in the middle of. I was hoping I was going to have this read by this video, but I didn't. And it is Don't You Cry by Mary Kubica. I think that's how you say her name. It's pretty good. I'm not going to really talk about that. This is my TBR. We'll talk about that probably in my book wrap-up video. But this is the first one on my TBR. The next one I have is the One of Us is Lying series. I think I'll end up liking this. I just need to get into it. So I just have the first 2 books in the series here. So that's on my TBR, as well as the Inheritance Game series. Let me know if there's one more book in this series. I have the first 3. So I have Inheritance Game, Hawthorne Legacy, and The Final Gambit. I saw something where there might be a 4th, so I actually probably should research that. But I'd love to get through this series this month as well, because I'm trying really hard to be very selective on the books that I buy this month, or just at least until I finish what I currently have on my TBR shelf. I think I've got like, plus these, I have 10 books on my TBR, so we need to get through those. So let's go ahead and talk about the books I read in February. Okay, in February, I actually read 7 books, so I have 6 of them here with me. The 7th one I passed along. Let's talk about that one now before I forget. So one of the books I read was Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, I believe. And I've had this one on my TBR forever, and somebody lent it to me, so I read that one and then returned it. Guys, that one was so overhyped in my opinion. I was not like in love with that, but that was like this girl whose dad was convicted of killing these young teenagers when I think she was like 10 or 13 or something. So he's been away in prison, and it's about 20 years later. She's a therapist, and all of a sudden girls around the same age start going missing again. So it kind of follows that story. It was so predictable to me, but I digress. Let's talk about Crescent City. So this one took me like 8 days to get through, and I'm a fast reader, especially when it's like a series I like. And like I flew through ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, so I really expected to fly through these. I don't know what it is about these books, but I am not connected to the characters. Like this is just meh. For example, I haven't even bought the 3rd one yet. I'm not like itching to read it. I mean, I will read it eventually, but I'm just not itching to read it. I was kind of disappointed because I feel like these books are really, really talked about, and a lot of people like them, but they just fell flat for me. Maybe I have too high of expectations, but I don't know. Wasn't a fan. So after I read the 2 Crescent City books, I wanted a break from fantasy, so I switched to romance. And I finally read Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. Everybody hypes this book up, and this definitely led up to the hype for me. This might be my favorite book of 2024. I know it's only, March 1st, so might not really be able to say that, but this was so good. I wish I could reread it, to be quite honest. I loved this book. I loved this book. I loved this book. If anybody knows books that are similar to this one, let me know, because I loved it. And then on the romance genre, I read Mr. Fixer-Upper by Lucy Score, and I talked about this because this was on my TBR. This is actually the prequel, or the first book in the Welcome Home series, and I'm looking at my bookshelf. The second one is The Christmas Fix, which I didn't know that these were in the same series when I was talking about this. And I read The Christmas Fix around Christmas time, and I actually really enjoyed that one. This one, not so much. This one was like super, super drug out, and then really, really rushed, and then drug out. I did not vibe with it. But this is just the story of two of the characters that are mentioned in the Fixer Up series. It's kind of like this one where it's like mini series and each book is a different couple. This one just fell flat for me. I don't know, I just wasn't like attached to the characters, wasn't really rooting for them, but I mean, it was just okay. And then I finally finished The Witch's Blade, which is the second book in the Five Crowns of Oakwood series, and I talked about this one in my last video, that I think this series is a knockoff ACOTAR, and I sound like the harshest critic, and normally I'm not, but once again, like, this is another one of those series where each book follows like a different set of characters, so you really have a hard time connecting with the characters, and this one just really reminds me of ACOTAR in the sense that like the first book was about the older sister, which I picture as Feyre from ACOTAR, and then this one was about the sister, aka Nesta. Yeah, Nesta. And literally like same moody, grumpy, like just all of it's the same. It's like just a knockoff version, and this book really probably didn't start getting good until about 200 pages in, and it's just over 300, so meh. But I wanted to finish this so I can get it back to my mom. Glad I finally got through it. I won't be reading any more of this series. Nope. And then I moved on to thrillers. So I talked about this one, Local Woman Missing, in a vlog by Mary Kubica. I plowed through this one in a day. I ate this shit up. I loved this book. The ending was surprising, which is always like my little thing as I rate thrillers on how surprised I am and how like engrossed I am with the book. So this one was really, really good. So that's why I'm surprised I'm struggling so much with, what is it, Don't You Cry by Mary Kubica. Like, I am skimming that book, like just trying to get through it, to be honest. That one did not have me in the chokehold that this one did, but so good. Definitely recommend this one. And then I also read Watching You by Lisa Jewell, which says Melville Heights is one of the nicest neighborhoods in Bristol, England. It's not usually the sort of place where people are murdered in their own kitchens, but it is the sort of place where everyone has a secret and prying eyes lurk behind every curtain. So who has been murdered, and who would you have wanted to be one of the neighbors dead? This one was also pretty good. I definitely did not expect the ending until probably like 75% through. Then I figured it out. My thing with thrillers is I have to remind myself that characters are not mentioned unless they hold some sort of value. So I'm always like, have that in the back of my head when I'm trying to figure out who done it, because it's usually who you don't expect for the most part. And like I said, every character is brought on for a reason. Maybe that's not the right mindset, because then I can usually guess who it is, but this one was good. This one had some unexpected twists, so I do recommend that one. So those are my February reads, and obviously my March TBR. So I think we're gonna maybe move over to my desk, and now we're gonna do some like planning stuff. I need to kind of clean up my bookshelf, so maybe we'll do that really quickly. But we're gonna go ahead, plan out my videos for the week, kind of set up my planner, and then we need to organize my calendar in the kitchen, change it from February to March. So let's move over to my desk and do some video planning. Okay, so here is my videos planned out. So my February budget closeout will already be up by the time this is live. It's going live as we speak. The March reset, I'm obviously filming today, and then I just went ahead and filled out roughly videos I want to film this month, status of them, the date I need to film them, and the date that they're scheduled. So that is kind of how I plan my videos out. If you guys have any suggestions or things you want to see, please let me know. I would love it. All right, last thing on the list is to, move this February calendar over to March. I feel like you guys have seen me do this time and time again, but let's go ahead and transition it. I think that's it for March. Compared to last month, it is a relatively very calm month. We don't really have any plans besides me me wanting to go to the farmer's market with my mom here, and then obviously we'll have to like pick up the Suburban at some point. Couple birthdays, but I don't think anything's planned. So overall, I would say this is definitely a chill month. Now we'll see kind of as the month goes, this might fill up, but so far I like how it is pretty calm and no like stringent plans. All right, that is everything for this month's reset video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.